Welcome to Ruger Tech Tips. Today we're going to learn how to reassemble the SR1911 with full-length guide rod and bull barrel. You can see I have a disassembled 9mm SR1911 in front of me, and I'm going to put on my safety glasses before I begin. I'm going to start with the full-length guide rod, and you can see that the full-length guide rod has this little hole here which we're going to use for our retaining pin. I'm going to start by reassembling the spring onto the guide rod. And this spring actually has two ends. There's a closed end here that's a little bit tighter, and there's an open end with a free running end of the spring. I'm going to put the closed end onto my guide rod and just kind of push it down all the way so that it locks on there. That'll help hold it together. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my reverse plug, and I'm going to start sliding the guide rod assembly onto that plug. Now, to get it in place, remember I have this little disassembly tool, reassembly tool that comes with the gun. If I lose this tool, I can always use a paper clip or a piece of wire. But I'm going to use my slide now. I'm going to reinsert the reverse plug into the slide backwards. And I'm just doing it backwards because I'm using this as a tool to hold the pressure as I now compress this spring. And I have to be very careful doing this because this is under a lot of tension. So I'll take my little tool, I'll insert the short end into the hole with the long running end pointing forward. So now that tool is going to hold all the spring pressure. I can release it and I can pull this out. This is now ready for reassembly. I'll set that sub-assembly aside. I'm going to take my cleaned barrel with the link pointing forward. I'm going to move that barrel right into the slide and allow it to set down into the lugs. Now I'm going to pick up my recoil spring guide assembly and make sure that these legs, I'll call them legs, these little half moon shapes, are on the same side so that those are lined up together. I'm going to place those down over the barrel because that half moon shape is going to sit over the barrel. And I'm going to slide it here into the barrel hood. And I'm going to push it all the way forward so that that is resting in place. Okay, and we're going to leave that tool there to hold the pressure of the spring. I'm going to move this lug down, and I'm going to take my frame upside down here and slide the rails back onto the slide rails. All right, so now we're about ready to reinsert the slide stop. And what we have to do is just make sure that through this little hole we can see the barrel link, and we're going to start this end into the hole. We're going to slide this up under the plunger, and we actually have to move our slide back into the position where we have this half moon shape lined up with the notch, lined up with the little leg on the slide stop. Then I can push all of those into place. It will snap, and now I'm just going to lock the slide to the rear using the slide stop. And now I can remove this pin because the gun's been reassembled. Take that out, set it aside for next time. I'll go ahead and ride this forward, and we can see that we're now reassembled. So I'll just go ahead and do a quick functions check now that we've reassembled the pistol. It is still clear. I'm going to first off check the safety, and I'll do that by moving the safety into the safe position. I will pull the trigger, nothing happens. I'll move it into the fire position. I can pull the trigger without depressing the grip safety. Grip safety works good, nothing happens there. Now I'll go ahead and compress the grip safety, squeeze the trigger, and hammer falls. So maintaining pressure on the trigger, I will manually operate the slide, allow it to go forward. I'll release the trigger, I'll hear a little click for the reset. I can now squeeze the trigger one more time. Our functions check is complete. Thank you for watching this Ruger Tech Tip on reassembling the SR1911 with bull barrel and full-length guide rod.